to look at double entry system. So to understand the double entry system, you have to know the elements. Remember the elements that I taught. We have assets, liabilities, incomes, capital, and expenses, and each has its own double entry. That means it enters into one account and enters in another. So assets, the trick is that when assets increase, you debit, and when they decrease, you credit. That's the trick. For example, you credit the asset account and you debit the asset account and credit the other account. For example, if they say he bought a car with cash of 30 million, so that means the asset account, which will be the car, because we said when an asset increases with debit, so this is the debit, this is the credit. Are we together? So when he bought the car with cash, that means he will buy with cash of 30 million, and then we credit the other account, well, that is the cash account. That means for it we shall credit it with the car of how much? Of 30 million. Are we together? Then the liabilities, it's the opposite. When the liability increases, that means when it increases, we shall credit the liability account, and when it decreases, we shall debit that liabilities account. For example, here it's increasing. They say the company acquired a bank loan worth 4 million from Post Bank to be paid in 5 years. They say the company acquired the bank loan. That means the liabilities account is actually increasing. Are we together? So that is the bank loan, and we said if it increases, we credit. Are we together? So if this is our T account, it means here that means that he acquired the bank loan worth 5 million. So this is bank. Are we together? Because we are crediting it because it's increasing. Are we together? Because he actually acquired a bank loan worth 4 million. When you see this worth, is it 40 million or 4 million? It's 4 million. That means when the liabilities increase, we shall actually get this account here of bank, because it's, and then the other account of bank, the bank account, because it is the bank money, the double entry. If we credit this one, we shall debit the bank account with the loan of 4 million. That's the double entry. In case it had decreased, maybe we are paying off, we would have debited, and then we credited the bank account. And next, incomes, when they increase, we actually credit and debit the other account, and when they decrease, we debit and credit the other account. For example, they say he sold goods on credit worth 80 million. When he sells goods on credit, that means the income's actually increasing. So when we sell goods on credit, this is our sales account. Because the incomes have increased, that means we shall credit the sales account. On credit is our creditors worth 80 million. And that means the double entry, that means the creditors account, we shall instead what? Debit it. It's the creditors account with sales of 80 million. Are we together? Then for capital, when capital increases, we also credit, and when it decreases, we debit. For example, you started a business with cash of, let's say this is 100,000. Are we together? So the capital is increasing. So in the capital account, since it's increasing, we shall credit it with cash of 100 million, and that means the opposite, we shall debit the other account of cash. Are we together? This is cash with 100,000, which will be the capital. Are we together? Then here we have the expenses. Expenses, in case they increase, we actually debit the expenses account and credit the other account, and in case they decrease, we actually credit the expenses account and debit the other account. For example, he paid 4 million cash in salary to the staff. Are we together? So we're seeing the salary account, which is the expenses account. We shall debit it because it's increasing. Cash of 4 million. And then the cash account, double entry will be the opposite for the cash account. We shall credit the cash account with salary of 4 million. Please put in the comments below if you found this video helpful.